Howdy folks, welcome back. Let me scroll back to the top here. Welcome to today's puzzle. It is a very hard puzzle. Whew. We'll see if we can do it, shall we? Well, the very first thing I did is I started just looking up and I saw fours immediately. 4, 4, and 4. I haven't even looked at the symmetry yet. I always like to look at the pretty symmetry. These center three only have 2 in each cube. It's kind of interesting, just 3 in each cube, 3 in each cube, 4 in each cube. Alright, so we got some very sparse rows. There's only 1 in this one, none in this one, 2 in this one, 2 in this one. So we'll have to find some creative methods. Well, first is first here. We have a 4 in the right, 4 through the center, and the 4 through the center. Again, this is a great time if you want to pause it, print this out for yourself. Welcome to do that anytime. We can do this as we go along. Feel free to play along. All right. Okay, so I'm just letting my mind wander, and for some reason it went to 7s. I don't know why. Just for fun, just for giggles. We have a 7 and a 7. These pairs, left and center. So on the right side, one of these is a 7. Now to line those up, look at these 3s. They are also left and center. So this is now double locked. These two have to be a 3 or a 7. So that helps us out. I love double locks. I don't know why. It works out really good in the long run, but it just makes me feel good to kind of maybe like I'm tricking the puzzle, where I don't know the solution, but I know what it could be, and so it's kind of it feels like it's cheating a little bit, but it's not. So I don't know. That's just kind of a fun little feeling there. All right, so we've got our 7s. We've got some pairs going this way. Let's see here what else we have. We've got 4s. I'm just scanning real quick before I start doing more systematic approach, letting my mind wander. Looks like this is the only 5 in the whole game. So 5s might be a little bit tricky. Oh, you know what I'm looking at? I don't see a single one on the entire map here. Not a 1 anywhere. So 1's going to be a little fun. 5's going to be some fun. Okay, so we also see these two 7s here through the center and through the right, and then this 7 through the center. So we have a 7 top and bottom here. Okay. I'm just looking for pairs here. I notice these two 6s, left and center. So the 6 has got to be here. Okay. I see a pair of 8s, bottom and center, and then the left. So we have 2 8s here. Okay. Now here's something really cool I saw with these 8s here on this row. I saw this 8 and I'm like, oh cool, I wonder if there's some more 8s coming up. Well, this 8 says you can't have an 8 there, and this 8 says you can't have an 8 here. So this particular row, this is the only spot left for an 8. Now if we have a right and we have a left and then we have a bottom, we now have 2 spots to have that 8 here in the center. Same thing over here on this right. We have a 1 in the right column, left column, bottom again. So the 8 has to be here in the center column. Okay. Alright, I see some 2s here, 2 across the top, 2 on the bottom, and 2 down the right. So we actually get a resolution there. Now with that resolution, we have a 2 in the center, 2 down the right, but it's already double locked. So we have to have a 2 over here. Okay, we do have a 2 through the left. Gives us a 2 here or here. Gives us a little ghost row. Hey, now that's pretty neat. We're going to find a 2 here really quick, because a 2 has to be here. Now in these harder puzzles, again, this is called a crisscross elimination. If this is a 2, then the middle has to be a 2. If the middle's a 2, the top has to be a 2. So because of this crisscross pattern, no matter how this works out, the top row and the middle row are now covered by 2s, So in this particular cube, the 2 has to be across the bottom. Well, it cannot be in the right side, and with this 2 coming across, I now can't have a 2 in the middle. So it can't be in the top 2, can't be in the middle of the right, so we actually have a full solution. By using a crisscross pattern, a ghost row, and one solid number, we found where the 2 is at. That right there is the hard puzzle solutions. We've got to use this crisscross pattern, you got to use ghost rows. Okay, and that looks like we've got our 2's fairly well marked out. Okay, alright. Now this was kind of a neat pattern with this 2. What about this 4? Check. 7. Shoop. 7 could be any one of those 3 still. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have that can be helpful? Okay. Okay, I am looking at some 4's here. We have a 4 down the left, 4 down the right, 4 through the center, so top and bottom have to be here, has to be a 4. Now this 4 that comes through here, 4 that comes down here means that one of these 2 have to be a 4. Now this center cube is kind of interesting. We have a 4 across the top, 4 across the bottom, 4 through the center. Now we just created a ghost row right here, so we know that one of these 2 can't be a 4. So the only one that actually can resolve is this filler right here. Okay, and then we've got our last 4 here. So that is good. That's giving us some solutions there. Very good. Again, using ghost rows. That's very helpful. All right. Okay, so I already know that we don't have 1's on the board, so I'm going to start systematically looking for some 9's, maybe I'll start with the back end, see if I see any other patterns that jump out really quick at me. Oh, I do see a 3. This 3 that comes down and this 3 that comes across tells me that one of these 2 is a 3. Now this ghost row now says there can't be a 3 in the middle, can't be a 3 in the right. Only spot left for a 3 is right there. Now we've got a 3 that comes down, we've got a 3 that comes across. Does that help us? Not yet. We still have 3 that it could be. 3 spots that could be a 3. Alright, okay, we'll leave that be for just a moment here. Now I do see, as my cursor was on that, I was like, oh, only I thought I had 3. That was 4. 4 spots left in this column. Okay, alright, let's see what else we have. Okay, alright. So let's systematic. Well, I'm still wandering. Let's see if I can get my mind to wander here. Okay, I just saw another solution here. See this 9 right here? I'm looking at this column right here. I notice there's no other 9. Well, the 9 cannot go in one of these 3. Only one spot left. So that is a 9. 9 also comes down, and a 9 comes across the top. So the 9 has to be in one of these bottom 2 right there, so that helps that out a little bit. Now I've got 3 numbers left. Of course, one's a 5 and one's a 1. one is a 1 and one is a 5 and one is a 7. And that is all the numbers that are missing. So if I have a 1, a 5, and a 7, let's write those down, shall we? 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5. Because those are the numbers that are missing. Now, the number that's missing here is a 2 and a 6. But we do have a helpful 6 right here. So that means this one can only be a 2. This one can only be a 6. Now this 2 also helps us to resolve this one. That can no longer be a 2. This one has to be a 2. Very good. So we did put a 6 in here. And that helps us to resolve the 6 for this cube. 6 in the bottom, 6 across the top. So 6 has to go here in the center row. Alright, now does that help us with any others? Now we've got 2 numbers missing here. And we know we're missing a 1 and a 5, and the other number we're missing is a 9, which a 9 cannot go here, and a 9 cannot go here. So 9, this is the only spot left for a 9. Alright, so now we're missing a 7 and a 1 and a 5. That silly 1 and a 5 is going to go all over the place for us. Okay, now I just saw something here that's really handy. Right here in this, I was looking at this top row, is also missing the 1, the 5, and the 7, right? We're missing a 1, 2, 3, 4, we need a 5, 6, we need a 7, 8, 9. Well, this spot right here where this only 1 5 is, the 7 is also part of the same cube. So if this is a 1, 5, or a 7, but it can't be a 5 or a 7, that makes that a 1. There we go. Let me clear my 1, keep my pencil marks nice and handy. So now this one has to be a 5 or a 7. Okay, and this one here has to be a 1 or a 5. That matches this 1 and a 5. Alright, now this one looks like it could be any one of those. It could be a 1, could be a 5. Ooh, you know what? It cannot be a 5. I'll show you why. Over here in this cube here, I've only got 3 numbers left. I've got a 5, an 8, and a 9. So I cannot have a 5 here. I'm going to clean that up. And I cannot have a 5 here. And now I know that this is a 1 and a 7, and this is a 1 and a 7. Because these ones, so here's my 8. So we've got an 8 here. I've got a 5 here, so 5 or 5. And then I've got a 9 that has to be somewhere. But it could be anywhere. So I'm just going to go ahead. Usually I don't mark 3, but with these harder puzzles, I like to mark them so I don't miss or undermark. For some reason, I catch myself not marking enough sometimes. Alright. So let's look at, what do we have now? All these top 3 are fully marked out, which is very handy. Alright. I'm curious about these 2 columns. I'm also curious about these 2 columns, because I have an 8 and a 9 here, and then I have, see this 8 and 9? That tells me this spot has to be an 8 and a 9, and then the only number, what am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6. I am missing a 6. Well, it can't go up here, can't go here. See, with this 8, 9, this is the only spot left for a 6. The 3 numbers I am missing, other than this 3 and 7, are an 8, 6, and a 9. And this 8 and 9 double eliminates. 6 is the only number that can go there. So that is helpful. That is helpful. Now we only have 2 spots left over here, which is, guess what, our 1 and our 5. That 1 and 5. Okay. Alright, that 1 and 5. Let's see what else we have playing for us. Okay. I just put it, the 6. That's what, when I put the 6 in here. Okay. So we've got a 6 down the left. We have a 6 across the top. So I wanted to put that 6 in there. Very good. Very good. Okay, now I have a 6 across the top, or bottom, 6 across the center, and I have a 6 down the left side. So that makes this one has to be a 6, which is going to make this a 4, and then we'll resolve and we'll kind of push some. So again, no 6 in the center, no 6 on the bottom, no 6 through the center column. So the 6 has to go here, which makes this our 4, which means this becomes our 4, which one of these 2 had to be an 8. This cannot be an 8, so this one has to be our 8. So this one has to be our 9. The only number left here is a 5. The only number left here is an 8. Let me clean up. I see I'm getting ahead of myself here a little bit. I need to clean up some markings here. Okay. So clean up those marks. Very good. So the 2 numbers that I'm missing down here looks like a 1 and a 9. A 1 and a 9. And I don't have anything that can help me just yet. No 9 here. No 9 across. But any one of these 3 could be a 9. So I'm missing a 1 and a 9. Okay, a 1 and a 9. Okay. Very good. Now if I'm looking across this bottom row, there's only 3 spots left. I need a 1, a 3, and a 9. Okay, this one could be a 1 or 3, but not a 9, so I'll put that 1 there. And then, hey, look at this one. This one has a 9 here. So this one could be a 1 and a 3. But what that tells me is no 9 can go here, no 9 can go here. This is the only spot left in this row that could be a 9. So that helps us out. Okay. So now we've got a 1 and our 9 resolved. Now this 9 comes up, this 9 comes across, which makes this our 9 here in this column, leaving only a 2 left. Now this 2 is going to help cascade with these 2, and then I'm going to clean up my pencil mark. Now we already know I'm missing a 1 and a 5, and you can notice vertically here, that's what I'm missing here in this spot, is that 1 and a 5. Okay. Now we have a 3 and a 7 already, so we know here in this cube the other 2 numbers we're missing is a 1 and a 5. 1 and a 5 is what we're missing. 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5. There we go. So now this cube is completely marked out. Okay, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 3. Okay, 1 and a 5. So this is where, for these very hard puzzles, I get a little bit lost. I'm still trying to figure out this particular pattern. You see how there's a 1 and a 5 here, right? And then it comes up to this 1 and a 7. So these 2 are bound because only one of them can be a 1. And that will change this number, which will change this number, and then these numbers. See how they're all intertwined? See this 1 and a 3 and 1 and a 5 and 1 and a 5, 1 and a 7. They're all intertwined, so there's a pattern in there. See this 1 and a 5 and 1 and a 5, 1 and a 5, 1 and a 3. And I can't see it all the way just yet. I'm still learning the puzzle pattern to try to recognize what I'm missing here. Okay, let me look at this bottom right cube because I just saw this 9 here. 9 across the bottom, 9 through the center, 9 through the center, 9 through the left. Okay, so this is the only spot left in this cube that can be a 9. Alright, so we've got our 9, we've got our 8, we need a 7. Okay, now we've got a 7 through the center row and the bottom row. So I've only got 2 spots that can be a 7. Alright, we've got our 6. Now we have a 5 in the bottom, so it could be one of the top 3. We've got our 4. Now our 3 can be, let's see, it cannot, oh yeah, it can be here. It's going to have to be in one of these left 2 because we do have a 3 here. Okay, and then a 2, and then our 1 has to be down here. So we have a lot of choices still there. Okay, so but this cube is fully marked out. No, it's not. Oh, it's not. What am I missing? My 3s. I just said 3s, right? Yeah, here we go. 3, 3. So we have our 9, we have our 8, we have our 7, our 6. 5 can go here. Let me mark those. See, I need to mark these all the way out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now that's fully marked out. 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, 5 can either go here or here. 4. Alright, then we need a 3, which is here. 2 and 1. Okay, so this one's fully marked out. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Now 5 could, I'm going to just fully mark it out here. 5. I don't have anything left or right to help it. 4, 3, 2, and then 1. 1 can go here. Yes. Can 1 go here? Yes. Could 1 go here? Yes. Could 1 go here? Yes. Okay, the center cube is fully marked out. So now let me look at this one. This is my last cube left to mark out. And then I have to stare at these patterns for just a moment and see if I can figure them out. That's where I keep getting stuck. Okay, we've got a 9. We've got our 8. What about a 7? Okay, no 7 across the bottom. Okay, so then our 7 could be here, 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 or here. Lots of 7 choices. Okay, we've got our 6 is going to be in one of these two spots. What about a 5? I don't think we have anything to stop a 5 from being anywhere. There's 5s everywhere. Okay, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. We've got our 4. Okay, we've got a 3 down the right side and a 3 across the bottom. So we have a 3, 3, 3. And we have our 2. And then we need a 1. And I don't think we have anything that can stop a 1 from being anywhere. So let's mark those. We have a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1. Okay. All right. So I believe the whole puzzle now is marked out. Now I have to try and see a pattern. Okay, now I do see something here. You see how this is a 1 and a 5? And you see how this is a 1 and a 5? Okay, so this is a pattern I do recognize. That's just called a simple double elimination. If this is a 1, this has to be a 5. If this is a 5, this has to be a 1. Because I've eliminated it from being any other number, just like this 3 and 7, that means this cannot be a 1 or a 5, or that would stop them both from working. So I can actually take the 1 and the 5 and the 1 and the 5 out. Because this has to be the 1 and 5. They cannot be any other number. So that automatically says this one is going to be our 8. Now if I take the 8 out here, we're going to clean that up. Now you'll notice this is the only spot left for an 8. No 8 in the left, no 8 on the right, no 8 on the top row, no 8 in the bottom row. So I'm going to put the 8 in there. That's going to clean up a lot of numbers there. And I think 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, that cleans up all of our 8s. Okay, so that, and let me clean this one up. Let me remove that 8 there. There we go. Okay, all right. All right, so that cleaned it up just a little bit. So that's just a pattern recognition. So if I find any other lines or cubes or columns that have that similar type of pattern, see, a lot of times there's 3 numbers, and that makes it more difficult. Okay. Oh, right there. See this? I somehow missed this 9. That 9, we have a 9 in the top, and we have a 9 through the center. So in this cube, this is actually the only one that's left that could be a 9. Okay, so that cleans us up just even a little bit more. Okay. All right, and then I think, is that all of our, hey, look at that. That's all of our 9s. All of our 9s are done. Okay. All right, so I don't know if you guys had caught that or not. Let's see here. So see this 1 and 5 and this 1 and 3 pattern? This right here, how the 1 and the 5 are not together and then the 1 and 5 are together, this makes me think. So let's see if I were to, I'm going to try to do this in my head, but I'm going to have my paper here as a backup. So if this is a 1, this has to be a 5. Now if this is a 5, this is a 1. See, my brain, I don't know why my brain can't handle that. It's just 4 numbers, 5 numbers. If that's a 1 down at the bottom, then that's a 5, that's a 1. And if that's a 1, that's a 3, and that's a 5. Okay, that works out. Now what happens if I flop it? What if this is a 5, this is a 1, this is a 5, then if that's a 5, that's a 3, and that's a 1. Does it still work? It does still work. Oh, okay. So maybe I need to take into the next account. So if it's, let's see, if that's a 5, then that's a 1, if that's a 1, that's a 3. Okay, maybe it's this way that I get hung up. that's a 1, that's a 5. If that's a 5, that's a 1. And that's a 3. And that's a 5. How did I just do that? See, that's my brain has a hard time following through all of these numbers. Let me start over here again. Okay, so I did this bottom one here as a 1. So if I do this bottom one as a 1, that makes that one a 5, makes that one a 3. That's a 1, that's a 3, and that's a 1. Okay, and then those are 5s and 7s, and that's a 5, and that's a 1, and that's a 5. Okay, and if that's a 1, then that's a 5. If that's a 3, that's a 1, and those 2's are 5s and 7s. Oh, if that's a 1 though, that makes that a 7. That makes that a 1. That makes that a 5. That makes that a 7. That makes that a 5. That makes that a 1. Which makes that a 1. Oh, hey folks, I think I found a solution right here. Going vertically here, this cannot be a 1. This cannot be a 1, and this cannot be a 1. So in this particular column, this is the only one that can be a 1. Cool. So that helps me with my pattern. I just did not see that simple. My pencil marks. We'll clean that up. We'll clean that up. We'll clean that up. Okay. All right. So that one. Now I've got this 3, 5, and a 7 conundrum I'm curious about. Let's see here. Do you guys see it? Am I missing it? There's a pattern that I'm missing that I just don't see. I'm wondering if it's this 3 and a 7 conundrum, maybe. Sometimes I'm like so focused on it I can't see it. You know, so I'm just gotta back up a little bit. Wait for it to jump out at me. Jump out, jump out. That's when I gotta get more paper. Gotta get another piece of paper here. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, so I'm going to look at this 5 and 6 right here for some reason. You know, there's a lot of 5s in this row right here, and I think if there's a 5 and a 6, maybe this 5 and a 1 and this 5 and a 6 might have a conflict here. So if I make this a 5, that's what I'm going to look at. So if I make that one a 5, the one above this one here is going to be a 1 and a 6. So let's see how that resolves out with this cluster of numbers here. So if this is a 1, this is going to be a 5, and then the one in the middle is going to be a 1. Okay. And then if this is, that'll make this one a 6 here, which means that the 6 has to be at the bottom. Okay, because we have the 5 and the 6. And let's see, how else does that resolve? Okay, if that's a 1, then we have a 3 and a 5 and a 1. Okay, and then we have a 1 and a 5. Okay, and then we have a 3 and a 7 and a 3 and a 7, which makes the top one a 5 and a 1. Okay, so that will not work. Alright, so what I have found that works right here, or that doesn't work, this 3, 5, and 7 have an issue here. If this is a 1, that makes this a 5. Okay, yep, so it's a weird pattern. If this is a 1, this is a 5. That makes this a 3 and a 7. So this 3 and 7 double lock, which makes this a 5, which makes this a 1. There we go. You see that pattern? It's just 4 numbers right there in a row. If this is a 1, this is a 5, this 3, 7, and this 3, 7 double eliminate, makes this a 5, which makes this a 1. So that will not work. So this cannot be a 1. This one has to be a 3. I know that's a stretch, but I know there's a name for that, but I haven't figured out what that is. But there it is. We found it. So this cannot be a 1. This has to be a 3, which means this has to be a 1, which now makes this a 5, which makes this a 3, which makes this a 1. And then I can go ahead and clean up my 3's, because now these are 5's and 7's. Now these 5's and 7's are double locked, which makes this one a 3, because there's got to be a 7 here or here, so that means a 7 cannot go here. So with this being our 3, there's our 7, there's our 3. Okay, we can get rid of our 3 here. Okay, alright, and then we have a 5 and a 7 double locked, which means this cannot be a 5 or a 7 because they have to fulfill there. So this one has to be our 1, which means this one has to be our 5, this one has to be our 7, this one has to be our 1, this one has to be our 7, this one has to be 5, 7, 5. I'm just cascading. I'm just carefully going through and eliminating what we have. Okay. Alright, now we're done with the 7's. I'm going to clean up my pencil marks here. Alright. Now we put a 5 down here, which means this one now has to be our 1. This one now has to be our 5. This one has to be our 5. This is the only one left that can be a 1. This is the only one that left can be a 6, which now means our 6 has to be up here, and this one is our 5. So there it is, folks. That took a little bit, but I'm actually quite happy that I was able to find that last little pattern without writing down too many notes. That is a pattern in the hard and the very hard that I'm still trying to recognize. And you notice that there was 2 solutions we found that I was just missing. So pencil marks are very important. Going back and looking at your pencil marks, even if you have them, don't just assume that they're correct, or don't assume that there's not a pattern there that can still help you. So had a lot of fun with the very hard puzzle today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave comments, suggestions, or challenges. I do enjoy them all. And thanks for watching, folks. I'll catch you next time.